So, my wife, she wants to go ahead and ruin Valentine's Day. She wants to cheat on me, and you know what? I know her exact plan. She doesn't know that I know, but I'm going to go find out where she's at, I'm going to follow her, and I'm going to spy on her and her little date. And you know what? While I'm at it, I'm gonna get a bit of revenge. You won't believe what happened last Valentine's Day. I've been with Monica for 7 years, married for 3. She was always the meticulous type, planning everything to the last detail. Her calendar's color-coded, her closet's immaculately organized, and her daily routine scheduled to the minute. So when she told me she had this last-minute business trip to the city on February the 13th, I didn't think twice about it. Monica was a relentless go-getter in her marketing career, always chasing the next big deal or client meeting. A sudden trip was par for the course. I know it's bad timing, honey, but this is a huge opportunity for a new account. Her eyes looked at me. I promise I'll make it up to you on Valentine's Day next year. It'll be twice as special. I nodded, giving her an affectionate squeeze, and said, don't worry about it. Your career's important. We'll celebrate when you get back. She rewarded me with a dimpled little smile that still made my heart flutter. Even after years together, I felt it. Her red hair caught the sunlight as she gave me a swift kiss on the cheek. Well, later that night, I made an unsettling discovery. As I cleaned up around the home, I stumbled upon a receipt tucked into Monica's neat checkbook record. It was a confirmation for a sunny side up couples retreat scheduled for February the 13th through the 15th. I stared at it dumbly for several minutes, my brain struggling to make sense of this new information. Monica was supposed to be at a business meeting, not some romantic getaway built for 2? I sat down. I was confused. I had this dread rising in my chest and questions raced through my mind. Who was she going with? Was she cheating? Why would she lie about this? Part of me wanted to confront her, to call and demand answers, but what would I even say? Accuse her of deceit without proof? Perhaps there was an innocuous explanation. You know, like she was planning to surprise me when she returned, but still, why the secrecy? Over the next 48 hours, I agonized over what to do. I searched the house for more clues, but found nothing. When Monica's departure date finally arrived, I still felt unsettled and lost. So rather than merely waving goodbye from the front step, I made an impulsive decision. I'm going to follow her to the retreat and see for myself what she's up to. So I tailed Monica's Volvo to the airport, staying about 5 cars behind. She didn't suspect a thing. I lagged several cars right there on the highway, and at the terminal I lingered by the gate, earbuds in, playing it nonchalantly, but secretly I tracked her movement, noting what flight she boarded. Through some miracle, Monica did not notice me, too occupied with her phone and carry-on luggage. After a short hop between airports, we landed in Savannah, Georgia. Hopping in a rental car, I resumed my stealthy pursuit. 30 minutes later, we pull up to a sunny side-up couples retreat, tucked away on a sprawling estate outside the city. With romantic accents and amenities, it looked like the perfect lover's escape advertised online. My apprehension was growing. So, she wasn't meeting anyone here, I guess. I pondered, doubts rising. Maybe I was simply overreacting, or she planned to surprise me here after the work trip? I decided I'd give it a few hours to see if anything changed. Monica was still alone by nightfall, and I would chalk up my behavior to extreme paranoia. Well, I camped out in my car down the tree line, nibbling vending machine snacks as the hours ticked by. The parking area remained nearly empty, and only a few other vehicles joining hers. By late afternoon, my nerves were fraying. It seemed Monica's solitary status was no ruse. She genuinely was here alone. I nearly cranked the ignition to drive away when an expensive BMW pulled in. A tall, athletically built man stepped out. He was chiseled with model-lookingness. He seemed more like a fit for a billboard than real life. My heart sank as he retrieved an overnight bag and bouquet of flowers. This time, when Monica emerged to welcome him, her delighted smile was one I knew intimately, but I've never seen, offered to another man before. They embraced each other like they knew one another, laughing about some private joke. Then they shared a kiss that left a little room together. About the doubt of the nature of their relationship, I felt like I've been sucker punched, all the wind leaving my body. I sat there paralyzed for I don't even know how long, blindly at the retreat's manicured lawn just staring at it. How long had she been involved with Mr. Perfect and pretending to be with me? Sickness rolled inside my gut. Images of her kissing and touching this stranger absolutely tormented me. It's like I'm in a bad movie. At last, I roused myself enough to drive, I would say flee, from the state. I moved indistinctively numb, my thoughts swirling, and when I reached a little bungalow on Oak Street, I realized I didn't have the slightest clue how I got back home. I guess just from muscle memory, because my brain was not there. But working in my own driveway galvanized me with purpose. If Monica wanted to throw away our marriage for this fantasy, then I would make it easy. Storming inside, I grabbed garbage bags and boxes like a man possessed. I began tossing all traces of Monica's stuff to the curb. Out her designer clothing, her precious keepsakes, her toiletries, the decorative touches that she'd insisted on. Anything that reminded me of her existence is gone. I changed the locks next. The resolute bit of the deadbolt slid into place with a bit of conviction. It's done. What we'd shared was now buried firmly in the past. Well, after hours of purging, I sealed the last box with a satisfaction. At the brink of turning in for the ragged night ahead, I paused to make one final cutting gesture. In my frenzied hunting, I'd found the bouquet of roses and fine chocolate I'd ordered for the holiday return of Valentine's Day. I decided to leave them with the rest of her crap. I left a note that said, "This is the last flower you will ever get from me." Utterly spent, I collapsed into the bed. I did miss Monica desperately, but the illusion of her at least. I didn't rise up until an angry shout and repeated knocking pounded at my door. I was disoriented, but I struggled out of bed, and it was Monica, gesturing wildly as she talked with two police officers. "Oh, there he is! This is my house! He's locked me out!" What? The officers regarded me politely but firmly and said, "Is this your residence, sir?" "It is," I replied. "And do you know this woman?" "No, I've never seen her before in my life." "She's, not on the property deed or lease?" "No, sir. I have no idea who she is or what she's even doing here." I lied! Monica reeled in dismay, fresh tears spilling down her cheeks. She began arguing and pleading in desperate protest, but the cops say, "Hey, you're not on the lease. I don't know what to do. He says he doesn't know you." I quietly gave the officers names of long-term friends to vouch for my identity, and I waved them goodnight. I watched the grim satisfaction as they escorted a shrieking Monica to their cruiser before I shut out the world again. The next few weeks were a haze of grief, anger, and alcohol, but eventually new routines rooted in scars formed this protective tissue around my heart. I still think of Monica, sometimes late at night when, sleep evades me, but rather than lounging, the memories mostly summon a dual ache or a bit of bitterness. Well, I heard through the grapevine that she left the state to chase some career aspirations out west. I hope she's found happiness, even if it came by my expense. Anyways, as for me, the sobering betrayal molded a perceiving life, and I haven't been in a relationship since. Anyways, guys, thank you for all your advice. Have a great day. I can't even imagine being a fly on the wall and witnessing when OP's wife comes back to the apartment and says, "Oh my gosh, my key doesn't work." And then she starts banging on the door so loud that police get involved because the neighbors are calling asking for the police because there's a domestic violence going on. So they show up, and I think the craziest part about this story is OP doesn't even tell the police, "Hey, I'm sorry, that is my significant other, and we've been through some pretty bad things right now. I'm the one that's on this lease, so I have all rights to live here, and I've changed the locks. She's a cheater. I don't want anything to do with her. You guys have to deal with her." OP didn't even say that. He was so unbothered by the situation. He just says, "You know what? I've never seen this woman before in my life. She's crazy. Here, look, here's the lease. She's nowhere to be seen on it." Guys, I want to know your thoughts about that and what exactly you would have done if you were the cheating wife in this situation and you had to go and find somewhere else to stay because the place you called home, well, you don't have a key for it anymore. Guys, drop it down below in the comment section. I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know if you like these additional stories. I usually drop one of these additional stories per day. It's shorter than my average videos, but this is because this is the second video of the day, and I just want to give you guys as many stories as I can. Anyways, guys, I'll see you tomorrow, and of course, remember, it's cool to be kind. See ya.